Today, we are going to decipher the code of qualitative investment research on the funds in the next 30 minutes. We are honored to invite our speaker today, Ms. Helen Leung. Helen is the Mercer Fund Watch Solution Leaders Asia, and she is also the program chairman of our case competition this year. Helen leads the strategic expansion and growth for Mercer Fund Watch, the digital delivery proposition of an investment rating service providing research and ratings on funds available to individual investors and their financial advisors. Before joining Mercer, Helen was the managing director, head of Greater China Institutional Business in FFC, RO and MIC, and a member of the board of directors at the 91 Hong Kong Limited for 11 years. Helen also served various committees and on our board in different associations, particularly for the young members and talents. Besides the program chairman of the case competition, she was one of the mentors of our mentorship program organized by our institute. Let me pass the time to Helen to start the session. Thank you, Helen.
Thank you, Ivy. Good afternoon, everyone. Very nice meeting you here. And in the following 30 minutes, I would like to share with you more about qualitative investment, the research we done on the fund, as well as the underlying investment strategies. I'm sure that a lot of you may have already learned about some basic investment concept, the capital markets, fixed income, equities in your university, in your program. So what I'm sharing here is really the things we do in practice. And I hope you enjoy the session and learn, and feel free to ask any questions. So without further ado, I will start now. So let me play a video so that you have a better understanding of what we do.
Selecting investment funds isn't easy. For individual investors, choosing from thousands of funds can be overwhelming. Past performance doesn't guarantee future success, and understanding the impact of fees can be tricky. Introducing Mercer Fund Watch, offering fund ratings and forward-looking research to help individual investors and their advisors make better investment decisions. The best part? It's free for investors. We believe 5 factors impact investment outcomes: idea generation, portfolio construction, implementation, business management, and fees. Our 230-plus researchers evaluate these factors to score our view of a fund's prospects, from low to high, using a simple star rating system that empowers easier decision-making. We also rate how well funds integrate environmental, social, and governance factors into the investment process. Fund selection doesn't have to be overwhelming. Private banks, wealth managers, individual investors, and their advisors choose Mercer Fund Watch for vital information that's easy to digest. As an asset manager, you may ask, what's in it for me? With Mercer Fund Watch, you can publish your ratings to show your value, get noticed by investors, and stand out in the crowd. Mercer Fund Watch, ratings that empower investors. To learn more, get in touch today.
So I hope you find the video helpful in providing more background information on what I'm covering today. So we talk about fund rating, and how we come up with a fund rating is through really a qualitative investment research. Now, may I invite you to scan the QR code, and this will bring you to our landing page, and you are very welcome to sign in. And after you sign in, I invite you to go to the Hong Kong markets and click the retail investors. Afterwards, I would like you to go to a specific report that I would like to go through with you afterwards is the tracker fund report. So maybe I just give you a few seconds to scan the QR code and go to our landing page. And all these are free of charge for individual investors, financial advisors. So we would like to provide a different perspective to the individual investors. Well, in addition to the market data-driven or the quant data-driven fund rating. So I guess most of you have scanned already. I would turn to the next page. So before I step in our methodology and the process and how we come out with the rating, I would like to talk about the team, the organization that contribute to the qualitative research. So the Mercer Fund Watch is built on the global investment research team. We have over 200 colleagues. They spread around the world in different cities, different markets. And the way we structure it is by specialists, meaning that we have colleagues cover public markets, private markets, and within private markets, it could be different strategies and public markets as well. It could be equities, fixed income, and then maybe different region. So, well, most of them are very experienced and they have been in that particular universe to look at the managers, look at the different investment strategies on average over 17 years. And a lot of them have stayed with the firm for near 8 years or above. So in terms of qualifications, a lot of them with strong fund management experience, they probably got many professional qualifications that will enable them to have the technical skills and expertise to conduct the qualitative research. And in addition to looking at the investment strategy, we also look into the ESG integration, which is a very well-attended area that people look at when evaluate investment. So for the many years, over 20 years, our investment research has served the world's largest investors. They're mostly institutions, could be sovereign wealth funds, endowments, public pensions, retirement schemes. So very recently, in the past 4 years, we started to build on this very long established and well accepted qualitative research and put it to the retail markets for individual investor at the fund level. So the way we come up with our views is forward-looking, and it's not really depend on any prerequisite views. So it's very much come out from the researchers that I just share that's been very experienced, technically strong, and they are specialists. So here I would like to show you what's the report look like. Neuberger Berman is a global asset managers. So this is one of the strategy, one of the fund that we rated 3-star out of 5-star and ESG rating 2 out of 4. So as you can see, we have the company name, we have the fund name, we also have the date that we do the report. And we are not providing investment recommendations. So we're sharing our investment research here. So I will talk more. So in the report, we also provide the information about the firm. Who are the key decision makers, like the CIO of the firm, and also the portfolio managers and the key team members. We also mentioned, well, what is the investment objectives of this fund and high-level fund fact sheets information. So these information are being provided by the asset manager. So now let's spend some time on how we do the manager research. So I mentioned about qualitative and the way we conducted is really proprietary. So the result is we want to provide our evaluation on actually the prospect of the investment strategy of the fund we research, the prospect of outperformance. So what we don't believe is we don't think it is possible to pick a winner in advance with absolute certainty. So we have high confidence, high conviction, but we don't think it is an absolute certainty. In addition, we think past performance is something that we would not just rely on in our analysis when we evaluate the prospect of outperformance of the fund. So now you may question, hey, okay, in general, when we pick a fund or pick an investment, we obviously look at past performance. And probably what you have learned that you already know that we shouldn't just look at the past performance. So what we believe, we think the investment outcomes is really depends on a mixture of skill as well as luck. However, with the very thorough due diligence by our side, it is possible for us to evaluate the likelihood of an investment fund, the prospect of outperformance over the medium to longer term. So here I want to pause for a while because I want to highlight due diligence. In the next few minutes, I will talk about how we conduct due diligence. So we think it is not an easy, straightforward process. It's really accumulated many years of experience, expertise in the markets by our specialists. And we think a robust approach to manager research should combine both the art of science to help us to help the investors. So how do we do the due diligence? Well, today the topic is about qualitative analysis. Yes, but when we do the due diligence, we do look at the quantitative part. At the quantitative part, there are two set of things we look at. So the first thing is we look at the past performance data. We do not just look at the past performance data, but it's definitely a key important areas that we look at. So we analyze the risk measurements, the risk adjusted performance, absolutely, and also relatively, relative to benchmark, relative to the peers in their own universe. The other perspective we look at and the quantitative analysis, say for example, in equity strategies, we look at the footprint of the portfolio. So what do we mean here is really we look at over time, the changes of the portfolio positions, the risk profile of the portfolio. Then we would know the style of the investment strategy, whether it's value, growth, whether it's just focused on small cap or not. So these are the things that we look at beyond the data. However, we spend most of the time at the qualitative part of the analysis. So what do we want to get? We want to really understand the investment strategy, the DNA of the fund. we would collect the information directly from the asset manager. We have met the managers, met the company, the investment team members for many years. It's not just one meeting. So over the years, we get to know them better. And then we also talk to our investment consultants who advise the asset owners, and also they will talk to the asset managers so that we have multiple perspectives on the analysis. So in practice, we usually set up research meeting directly with the CIO, with the portfolio manager of the strategy, as well as the key member of the investment team, the key decision makers. So this is the way we collect the data for our qualitative analysis. So what do we want to get out of, and what areas actually we look at? So the first three areas that we look at is idea generations, portfolio constructions, implementation. So if we look at the investment process, the starting point is to find investment idea. So we, throughout the conversations, interview or due diligence meeting with the portfolio managers, our investment researchers will form a view how this manager determine the attractiveness of different investment ideas. How do they pick the investment ideas? And then throughout this process, they would understand better about the team, the portfolio managers, as well as the dynamics with the team members, the analysts. Maybe the analysts do the research, they come up with the investment idea. They put forward the investment idea in a group meeting and discuss, and then they may debate whether this one is better than the other one. And then we will look at how the decision is made at the end. So the dynamics of the idea generation is really the starting point of the investment process. Once the team decided which ideas they will go for, they may rank the investment ideas, they may put different weightings, which one has higher conviction, which one is not. So a lot of things to consider here. The next one is really putting these investment ideas and translate them into actual investment. We call it portfolio constructions. So this is a very important part because in practice, we don't just put together all the investment ideas. Oh, I buy this stock, I buy that bonds. No, there is a very specific investment guidelines, investment objectives, investment restrictions, and a very well-defined universe on what that particular strategy can invest or would not invest. And then probably that team, they have a preference or they have a very strong convictions on how they should invest according to their strength. So we will look at the investment style. Well, just putting together the investment idea is not good enough. We'll also look at how they manage the risk, because at the end, the result would be a combination of investment ideas as well as the risk management. So next step is implementation. So what we mean here is, okay, you pick the investment ideas and then you put together a portfolio constructions. Now you go out to the markets and buy the stocks or buy the bonds. So why do we look at this step and why it is so important? Because of the cost efficiency and the cost effectiveness. So even you pick a very good investment ideas, okay, but it makes it very expensive for you to buy it from the market. It doesn't help at the investment performance. So this is a very important part. And well, that would really affect the outperformance or what we call the alpha. So out of these three factors, idea generation, portfolio constructions, and implementation, we think idea generation is the most important. So you see, the next one is business management. We think that it is important to have a friendly business environment that encourage and attracts talent and retain the talents in the firm. Because in the investment world, if you want to keep a track record and you want to have a consistent investment philosophy, continuity that provide a very strong confidence to the investor, well, then the team has to be stable. So putting things together, not just remuneration, but a friendly business environment would be very important. We also look at the fees level, how much they charge. This would at the end affect the net of fees outperformance of the fund. So at the beginning of the webinar, I invited you to scan the QR code. I hope by now you already get into the website and you are able to access to the different fund. Well, you probably see a list of fund. Some of the name you know, some of the name you may not know, but you are very welcome to click on it and learn more about it. You're also very welcome to download the reports for your own research. We have an ESG rating. 1 is the highest and 4 is the lowest. And we also give each fund a rating 5 star. 5 is the top and 1 star is the lowest. We think this would very easily represent and reflect our views on the fund. If you are interested in specific fund, you can click the view fund and it will bring you to an expanded narrative about our assessment. And in addition, you can even download the PDF reports. So in the report, what we cover, we have a star rating, we cover our qualitative as well as the quantitative analysis. So we put in writing our researcher insights, his own evaluation. And we also talk about the 4 factors I just mentioned, how we see it. So now may I talk about a specific example, which is the Tracker Fund of Hong Kong. I think you all know about this. It is managed by Hang Seng Investment Management. So if you look at the fund name, Tracker Fund of Hong Kong, and the category is passively managed ETF. This report was done in June 2023, and it has a very good rating, 4 star out of 5, and also an ESG rating out of 4. So in the first page, we'll give a snapshot of our evaluation. The next page is a paragraph about our overall assessment. Let's spend a bit time on this. So we talk about how we view this passive equity ETF manager, and our researcher also comments the team and whether it's resourced and has sufficient skill, and also whether the infrastructure, the system enable the team to track the index. And also they will talk about the investment approach, whether they are risk-taking or conservative. And these are very high-level comments. So if you are interested to look into these comments, we actually have sessions on each of them. So because it is passive, we look at the implementation and risk management. You can take time to look at what we actually comments. We also look at the cost and the fees and the expense ratios. I just mentioned that we look at the net of fees return that the individual investor will get. So this part is also very important. The other part that I didn't mention earlier is really at the ESG level. So for the active strategies, we look at the ESG integrations from idea generation to portfolio constructions and the overall senior management support. At the passive side, we also look at this aspect, but the perspective we look at is different because they do not hold individual company positions. And again, the business management in general are also very important to retain and attract talents. So earlier, I also talked about we have 5-star, 4-star. What does it mean? We provide a definition about, 1-star and 5-star. So in general, this represents the level of confidence, the outperformance prospect of the fund. And the ESG rating as well. So it's a very short report. It's basically an abstract of our 50 to 60 pages investment strategy evaluation report of the fund, the underlying investment strategy that is available for institutional investor. So that is our risk management. For every fund rating, we have first start at the investment strategy level. So this is what I hope to share with you today. I hope you find it interesting, and you're very welcome to raise any questions.
Thank you, Helen, for your insightful and informative talk. Your sharing could definitely help the students on their research project and learn more on the skills, how to write their paper. So besides the sharing on this topic today, can I invite you to share more about some tips on their career advancement, especially for the aspect in asset management or investment research? Do you have any advice or tips for them?
Yes, thanks, Ivy, for your questions. I think first I would invite every one of you on the web, or you can share with your friends, just to scan this QR code and go to our company webpage. We continuously look for talents like yourself at both the internship or permanent position. So you are very welcome to spend time on it. And back to Ivy questions, I think probably you have heard a lot from different experienced professionals that it's very important to ask yourself basic questions that what would you want to achieve? So in other words, you have to set a very clear goals, realistic goals for yourself in the career at a starting point or in the medium to longer term. And then once you have an idea about that, well, I would suggest that you try to grab all the opportunities to get the relevant experience, like internship or maybe projects at the universities that related to what you want to get into. And I think it's also good to talk to someone experienced in that sector, get some mentorship, sign up those programs. Then you can talk to people that been spending a lot of years and successful in those areas. I think in general, they're very happy to share with you. Well, I think other things that you've probably been doing is continues to learn. There are a lot of new developments and things change very rapidly. So just continues to learn. In terms of like finding a job or how to do that, I'm sure that your universities have very good support in that area and have very give you probably a lot of guidance. So, but in general, I think make sure that you spend time to research on a company, on the individuals that you are going to meet with in a job seeking process. Be very well prepared. And maybe you think in advance what questions and then prepare the key points that you would address to differentiate yourself. Other soft skills I would think is really the character and also the attitude, the manners, politeness. This would also adding up very important marks in the overall impression.
Okay, thank you, Helen. So I heard that learn from you that you mean the students need to get prepared for themselves and grab all the opportunities. For example, to work with the senior management and also the internship opportunities. So based on the tips you just shared, so how do you think Hong Kong SI Institute can support our student members in their career preparation?
Thanks, Ivy, for your question. So here we have prepared a slide that I will be very happy to go through each areas. So I've been with Hong Kong SI for years. So I was fortunately to participate in these initiatives that I think is very helpful to you and also your schoolmates. So feel free to share with them. The first one is the annual flagship event of Hong Kong SI, which is the case competition. I'm sure that a lot of you have already signed up.
Yes.
So this actually provides you opportunity to directly learn from potential employer and not just learn about the sustainability or the ESG philosophy and the product and services, but also during the process that you learn from them and interact with them, you will get to know more how things work in reality, and also you know more about the company culture, the people, how they interact, how they perform and deliver, and the standard they expect. So I think this is a very good opportunity for you to explore whether this is a company or this is something that you would like to join and you would like to spend time further after your graduation. And the other area is internship and mentoring. As I just shared earlier that, experienced professional, actually they probably have done what you are facing before. So in general, people are very happy your mentor to share with you. So why not learn from them? The other program is the internship that Hong Kong SI is also working on. So you will have the opportunity to actually spend 3 months, 6 months, or even a year, gap year in that particular company. So I think this is a very good opportunity to broaden your experience outside of university, and maybe not just one internship. You can try 4, 5, or before you actually landed in a full-time career or position. So I think this type of experience will definitely help you on the technical skills, working experience, as well as people skills as well, and also to get to know yourself better. The other areas are like Hong Kong SI regularly conduct career talks and also social events, drinks, and free seminars. So you are most welcome to join us and talk to the very seasoned members across different sectors within the financial services at Hong Kong SI. So lastly is, I think Ivy can share more about the discount in licensing and in the professional qualification. So Ivy, you asked about the asset management industry in general. It's not a must, but in general, people would be very keen to equip themselves and beef up their technical skills. So there are a lot of professional examinations available that would help you to step up in addition to your university degree.
Yes,